Hey, yeah. This is your boy, Tone DeShields II. You guys are locked in on Chalk It Up Sports, where no matter if we win or if we lose, we just got to charge it to the game. I really appreciate the love. I appreciate the support. You guys are always tremendous, and I do not take the love. I do not take the hate for granted. I'm always grateful to be here with you guys, man. This is always fun for me. I look forward to this. We was off on Saturday. We was off on Sunday. Saturday, I went on a 4-mile hike. Was out there for like 2 hours. It was pretty awesome. Sunday, took it easy. You know what I mean? Got some stuff done around the house. Laundry, cooked dinner, all that kind of stuff. You know how it goes, man. Did a little bit of house cleaning. Did some relaxation. Did some reading. You know what I mean? But overall, we back here on the Monday. You feel what I'm saying? And I'm grateful to be here with you guys. Please, you guys know what to do. Y'all know the lingo. Y'all know the language. Y'all know how we do this thing over here. Make sure you guys, most notably, smash that like button. I'm always grateful to you guys. That like button is currency. That like button is fuel. That like button charges up the YouTube algorithm. And it helps new people find the show. And it helps current people always know what's going on. And on top of that, make sure you guys subscribe to the channel if you like, and only if you like the vibes, if you like the energy, if you like how we give it up here. Please subscribe to the show, hit that like button, and also please don't forget to hit the notification bell after you subscribe. You see, once you're subscribed, right, you got to hit that notification bell, because the notification bell reminds you when the content goes up. Whenever I go live, whenever I post anything, especially on the community page as well. Make sure you guys hit the like button, and make sure you guys subscribe, and make sure you guys hit the notification bell. It'll remind you of everything. My Twitter people, thank you guys so much for always being locked in on the show. You guys are always holding it down on the Twitter/X side. Make sure you guys hit that retweet button if you can, so new people can join the show. Also, make sure you guys hit that heart button, hit that like button on Twitter as well. And start some conversations about the show, man. Y'all know how we give it up here. Let's do some quick shout outs before we start talking about the content, because I got some things I want to chat to you guys about. Shout out to my man Corey Allen in the building. My man Crawley 26. What's going on? Miguel Lara, Trey 979, Fitness Warrior, Jules 4133, the podcast, Chuck Hutton, Brian Biting, JDM Life, Terry Hayes, the Night Owl, Nina Austin. Yes, sir, my man. Hey, listen, I'm working on the railroad. My man Terry Hayes, stay in the lab, getting busy, earning that moolah, man. And I appreciate him always taking the time to lock in on. No way, they trolled us with that. Trey 979. So you see how the Eagles trolled us with the Blankenship extension. It wasn't that much money. They didn't give him that much money, but look, here's the thing, man. And look, we're going to get into the Blankenship stuff. I don't want to get too far ahead of myself. Reed Blankenship, he wasn't awful last year. He wasn't awful, But again, here we go. Let's get right into it. Again, make sure you guys smash that like button. I really appreciate you guys. As a matter of fact, what I want to do also, I want to drop a poll in the live stream as well, right? Because the question of the evening is, did the Philadelphia Eagles get worse? Objectively, of course. 63 Mortis, thank you so much for finding me, my friend. I appreciate you for locking in on the content as well. Yes. A lot of people actually found me on Jacob Sports. A lot of people found me on there. And things happened the way they did. And I'm back on my own now, and it's all good. We're never gonna harp on that. I'm just glad you found me, 63 Mortis. Super grateful to you for finding me. Shout out to my man Philly D as well for locking in on the content. Nina Austin, what's going on, sweetie? Good to see you. Hope your mom's doing well. Hope your family's doing well. But again, the question of the evening, and we're going to break it down, right? Did the Philadelphia Eagles get worse after the Haason Reddick trade? Did the Philadelphia Eagles, and we're going to put a poll here, Here we go. I got to ask you guys. Did the Philadelphia Eagles get worse after the Haason Reddick trade? Because we've talked about on both sides. K. Robinson, welcome to the show. I appreciate you. Philly, thank you. We've talked about it from both angles, right? We've discussed the Philadelphia Eagles angle, why they made the decision they made. And we also approached it from the Haason Reddick angle, why he didn't want to play ball, right? Now, let's make this clear. Haason Reddick wanted to stay with the Philadelphia Eagles. That goes without saying. I think he wanted to stay here. Hence why he didn't necessarily request a trade. The Philadelphia Eagles gave him permission to seek one so he can test the market, right? The Philadelphia Eagles' perspective was, when your new contract starts, you're going to be 31 years old. How comfortable are we paying a 31-year-old edge rusher? What would that be? $25 million on average? And again, we really don't know what his number was, but I think we can objectively surmise that he was looking for something around 24 to 26 million per season. I think that's a reasonable area to assume that's what he wanted. So again, the Philadelphia Eagles couldn't see themselves paying that kind of money to Haason Reddick. Fair enough. Haason Reddick, based off the production, he deserves to get more money. However much more money that is not up to me. But what I will say is Haason Reddick deserved to earn more money. He deserved to get a pay raise, to get a raise, because of the production he's given the Philadelphia Eagles over the past 2 seasons. He was their most productive player in 2023. He was their most productive defensive player in 2022. That's not a debate. That is not a debate. That is real facts. He was the most productive player in 2022 for your defense and in 2023 for your defense. So, putting up 30 sacks or 31 sacks in a matter of 2 seasons, and I'm including his playoff sacks as well. Putting up 31 sacks over the course of 2 seasons, pretty impressive. Very impressive. You would think that constitutes a guy getting paid. So the Jets trade for him, meaning that they're comfortable paying him. The Jets, they're taking a gamble as well, paying Haason Reddick the number that he's going to be looking for. Now, again, we have no idea what his new contract will look like. That stuff hasn't really come across the table yet. But if the Jets traded for him, that means that they intend on paying him. It's just a matter of when and how much. But the Eagles defense, now they're without him. The Eagles front seven looks like this: Bryce Huff, Jalen Carter, Jordan Davis, Josh Sweat, Devin White, Nakobe Dean, Zach Bond. That's what the front seven looks like. Josh Sweat, Bryce Huff. Josh Sweat, Bryce Huff, Jalen Carter, Jordan Davis, Devin White, Nakobe Dean, Zach Bond. That's the front seven. Now, we can debate who's going to start between Devin White, Oren Burke, Zach Bond, Nakobe Dean. We can debate all that. But I think objectively, those are probably your most talented guys when it comes to your front seven, right? Losing Haason Reddick, my humble opinion, objectively, well, an opinion can't be objective, right? Well, an objective opinion is possible. My objective opinion, I think the Philadelphia Eagles defense got worse because of the simple fact that you have to find a way to replace that production that Haason Reddick gave you and was giving you. You trade for you. Not sorry, you didn't trade. You signed Bryce Huff in free agency. And LaShawn McCoy brought this up on his show Speak on FS1. Shout out to LaShawn McCoy, the Philadelphia Eagles legend. LaShawn McCoy brought up a very good point. The Jets let Bryce Huff walk out the door. Why? Typically, the team that signs you or gave you a shot, right? Because he was an undrafted rookie, so they didn't draft him, but they signed him after the draft. They weren't comfortable paying him. Why is that? And I didn't think about that, right, until LaShawn McCoy said it. And it's a fair question. Why didn't the Jets want to commit to Bryce Huff long term? Because if he was as talented or as productive as we would like to think he is, why wouldn't they keep him in the building? Knowing that they could have got away with paying him worse. Ah, okay, Fitness Warrior. No harm, no foul. Thank you, Fitness Warrior. I appreciate it. Thank you for the insight. Shout out to my man, Fitness Warrior. I appreciate this update. Thank you. And this is why I love you guys, because you guys are a part of the show. And I appreciate that. Good point, Fitness Warrior. That one went over my head. Thank you. Truly, thank you. They did make him an offer. My apologies. That's why I depend on you guys. You're a part of the show. And also, you guys are kind of like my fact check machine. So this changes things now. LaShawn McCoy was the one that was misinformed. My apologies. So they did make him an offer. He decided to go to the Eagles because they gave him a bigger nest egg, right? They were comfortable investing in him more. I'm curious what the Jets were offering, though. What, maybe 15, 14 million? Who knows? But I appreciate that, Fitness. I appreciate your candor. I appreciate your transparency, my friend. So, but that changes the argument now. That changes my opinion. Or I can just eliminate that opinion in general, right? Okay, Jets made him an offer. Eagles made him an offer. He chose the Eagles. Got it. But still, you want Bryce Huff to come in and be your number one edge rusher. You want him to come in and be you're paying him at least, right? That's what the paycheck says. You're paying him to come in and really deliver from the edge rusher perspective. His career high in defensive snaps through 17 games is 480, which is 42% of the total defensive snaps available to him. That's something I'm concerned about, only because if the workload increases, will the production increase? Will it plateau, meaning will it stay the same? Or will it decrease because he's not used to playing that many snaps? Through 480 snaps, through 42% of the defensive snaps played, he gave the Jets 10 sacks. That's great. That's great based off of his sample size, right? Haason Reddick has had seasons where he's played double the sacks. I'm sorry. He's played double the amount of snaps, has given only maybe a sack or two more, right? His best season was 2022, obviously. But other than 2022, he's always been a 10, 11, 12 sack guy, right? If you think about his Panthers year and his Cardinal year and his most recent Eagle year. So when you think about it from that perspective, can Bryce Huff elevate his game with the increased workload? Because the Eagles are taking a gamble. The Eagles are taking a gamble, right? Bryce Huff, young guy, 26. He's an ascending pass rusher, hopefully. What's his ability in run defense also? Now, granted, he's a bigger body, more physical than Haason Reddick, 6'3", 250, 255 pounds. Haason Reddick is 6'1", 240, 245, something like that. So you're getting a bigger guy on the edge that can rush the quarterback. And I think he had one of the best pass rush win rates in the NFL, if I'm not mistaken. As a matter of fact, let me look up Bryce Huff's PFF grade. Let's see here. So in 2023, Bryce Huff had a 79.7 overall player grade. Overall. Now, I don't pay for PFF, so I can't really get too detailed with it. But let me look up Haason Reddick's PFF grade for the 2023 season. All right, here we go. It's loading. Give me a second. So in 2023, remind you, Bryce Huff, he only played 42% of the snaps on defense. Haason Reddick played north of 80% of the snaps. So basically, in perspective, Bryce Huff played about 420 snaps, about 420 snaps, or 480 snaps, excuse me. And Haason Reddick played about, let's see here. I can give you the exact number. Let's not guess here. Haason Reddick played a grand total of 836 snaps in 2023. 836 snaps. And Bryce Huff played 454 snaps. 454 snaps. So Haason Reddick, in theory, played double the amount of snaps and only contributed one more sack than Bryce Huff in 2023. That's something that we have to think about. I'm looking at this poll here, and I appreciate you guys. We have 64 people on the live stream, 38 on YouTube, 26 people on X/Twitter. I appreciate you guys. Please make sure you hit that like button. Really helps the content grow. Really helps people find it as well. Based off of this poll that I have in the live chat, we have 29 votes. I definitely want to get more perspective. Based off of this poll, 66% of you guys think the Eagles got worse. 66% of you guys think you got worse. That's interesting. I think the Eagles did get a little bit worse because we still don't know what Bryce Huff is going to give us. We don't know quite yet. And they're coming off of that really bad defensive season. You take away Haason Reddick's production, that's a scary notion to accept. He was a closer. He was clutch. He's given a lot of his sacks came in the clutch moments. So that's something we have to think about. You're giving that up. You're banking on the younger guy. You're banking on the more unproven guy. But he's younger. And in theory, you're paying him the same amount of money that you were paying Haason Reddick. So I'm not mad at the Eagles for taking the gamble. I'm not mad at them. I would have just loved for them to figure it out with Haason Reddick because I think the Eagles are better with him than without him. But overall, based off of the way that defense performed last season, something had to change. They added Vic Fangio. What will he bring to the table? Will he be able to shape this team up? We'll find out. But I'm interested. I'm intrigued. I'm glued to my seat because the Philadelphia Eagles have a lot of expectations coming into the 2024 season. I think we all can agree with that. My father is in the building, Tone DeShields Sr. Thank you so much, Dad, for always showing love to the show. I really appreciate you. My dad is the man. My dad is super diehard Philadelphia Eagles fan. I mean, always hosting watch parties at the crib. I miss you, Dad. I miss our times watching the game, man. You know, obviously we can't do that now that I'm a 24-hour drive away. But I appreciate you, Dad, for always locking in on the show, my friend. I really do appreciate you, man. That's my road dog. That's my confidant. That's my consigliere. You know what I'm saying? That's my consigliere. I consult my father with a lot of things. And his advice is typically golden. So shout out to my consigliere, my father. I appreciate him. Really do. He says, no way we got worse. Haason Reddick was business, and he deserves the money he's looking for. The Eagles will be fine. We are making positive moves. You can see it now or love it later. You can see it now and love it later. Hey, man, that's a lot of confidence. It's a lot of confidence, Dad. And I'm never mad at I'm never mad at a confident man. I'm not mad at it, man. Confidence gets you in the door, baby. Confidence gets you in the room. But consistency and production keep you in the room. So, hey, I'm optimistic. Don't get me wrong. Although I have my concerns about Bryce Huff and the workload and what it's going to look like when it's increased, although I have my concerns, right? I'm fairly optimistic about Bryce Huff. I am. Because I am a supporter of the team. And by default, my fan side has to be optimistic. But when we talk about this objectively, as spectators, right? I got to give you guys both sides of the coin. So I do think the defense did get a little worse. Because I would have loved to see what a Haason Reddick, Bryce Huff combination would look like. I would have loved to see what that looked like. I would have loved it. So that begs the question, what does Howie Roseman have up his sleeve? Thank you, Dad, for supporting the show. My man, Anton Baroda. Thank you, my man. I appreciate you. I really appreciate it, man. Anton Baroda says, well, I didn't say that. What I said was, well, let me read it first. Let me read this first. Anton Baroda says, you and Dan said a couple months ago, he's talking about Dan Sileo, by the way. He says, you and Dan Sileo said a couple months ago that we had to get rid of Reddick or AJ. I think this was a good idea or a good trade because it allows us to extend AJ. I think, to your point, he was all for moving on from Haason Reddick because he's not really the reality is Sileo always went back and forth about Haason Reddick. Didn't understand why, but he always has. That's the reality. But when it comes to AJ Brown, my biggest thing was more so in correlation to the Devontae Smith part of it, right? You know, you have to figure out how you're going to pay two wide receivers north of $20 million. Now, granted, the cap is going up, meaning the floor is going up, and it provides you with more flexibility, I'm sure, right? And with the new rule changes, it makes it harder for defenses to do their job. So therefore, maybe teams are going to start investing more in the offense, which would then provide you more financial flexibility. And you're probably going to pay more money for wide receivers, all that kind of stuff. And look, I'm not saying the Haason Reddick trade was a bad idea. I'm also not saying it was a good idea because I can't say for sure what it will mean and what it will amount to. Right? I can easily jump out the window and say, hey, great trade. Hey, had to get him out the building. I can easily go that route. But I think I'm quite literally being honest with you guys when I say I think the team, the team is better with him. He's a very productive player. I think they're better with him. I think we have to say that. They're better with him. But then some will retort and say, well, he was there last year. What changed? He didn't impact any games last year. And it's like last year, so many things went wrong. It's hard to pinpoint exactly who's to blame. I know you guys know I'm very, very, very heavy-handed when it comes to Jordan Davis. And just because I'm heavy-handed with Jordan Davis doesn't mean that I think he was the sole reason why the Eagles collapsed. I can acknowledge someone's faults in particular and also acknowledge the bigger picture that everybody fell off the face of the earth. But I also have to acknowledge the Matt Patricia effect and locking Sean Desai in a broom closet, right? Because Haason Reddick wasn't the same player after the Matt Patricia situation. He wasn't. The defense wasn't the same at all. So there's so many variables that goes into why that defense went wrong last year, and they do have a lot to prove going into this season. But I don't think I've ever said the Eagles need to get rid of Haason Reddick. I've never said that. I said there's going to be some tough decisions that need to be made, and they're going to have to decide what the long-term plan is with Haason Reddick. I don't really speak in absolutes like that. So I love to leave room for error. I love to leave room for alternatives or curveballs, right? So Anton Barota, to your point, I've always said the Philadelphia Eagles are going to have to make a tough decision at some point. And lo and behold, here we are. They decided to trade Haason Reddick to the Jets. They made the tough decision. A decision that a lot of people don't agree with. A decision that me personally, I'm open-ended about. I'm open-ended about it. But I think the Eagles defense, losing a player with that level of production and how he gets the production, you got a little bit worse. Got a little bit worse. But if Bryce Huff comes out smoking, then hey, we ain't got no issues. But I think overall, a larger investment needs to be implemented on the defensive side of the ball, most notably through the draft. Anton Barota, thank you so much for supporting the channel, and thank you so much for donating to the channel as well. I really appreciate you, Anton. I always appreciate your insight as well. Really takes the show to another level when guys like Anton Barota donate to the channel. It's always a movie when you guys are here. Always a movie. Fitness Warrior says something interesting. He says, we may not like the trade. However, we have to look at the depth of our front seven and compare them. So in my opinion, I think we did improve from last year. Need I remind you, we don't know what Nolan Smith is yet. Need I remind you? We have no idea what Nolan Smith is yet. That's a big question mark. And he was a first-round pick. Let's just think about it from the edge rusher perspective, right? Or the D-line perspective. No, you know what? Let's stay edge rusher. No, let's stay D-line. Sorry, you guys. Sorry about the back and forth. Let's just go through it, okay? You have BG, who's going to retire after this upcoming season. You have Josh Sweat, who's entering a contract year. Will they extend him? We'll find out. You have Bryce Huff, who they paid, but still an unknown. You have Nolan Smith, a player that you drafted in the first round. Don't know what he is. Don't know how good a player he can be. We don't know. You have Jalen Carter. I'm pretty sure about that. I actually expect his motor to improve. I expect him to come back even better. He's super talented. I think Jalen Carter is going to be just fine. Jordan Davis. Will he take his conditioning seriously? I don't question the talent, but will he take his conditioning seriously? Milton Williams, contract year. Will the Eagles extend him? Marlon Tuipulotu, can he stay healthy? Okay. PJ Mustafa, is he going to push Marlon T? So I guess what I'm trying to say to you guys is, when you think about that defensive line, is it as concrete as we think it is? And this is me not saying either or. I want to know what you guys think. A guy who's just here, he says something interesting. He says 10 sacks on 400 snaps is an unknown, in my opinion. He did that last year. One time. Last year, one time. With the Jets. Coaching matters. Situations matter. Opportunities matter. So many variables go into it. We know what he did with the Jets. What he did with the Jets got him in the building. But what he does here will keep him in the building. So we can't conflate the two things. What happened last year got him here. What he does this year will keep him here. A guy who's been in the league for 4 years and he's giving you one double-digit sack season, and the rest have been 2-3 sack seasons, if that. And you pay him 3 years, $51 million. He hasn't played a snap for you yet. That's unknown. That's unknown because we don't know what he's going to do for us. We assume, we think, we guess, we expect, but we don't know if his game or if his production will translate with the increased opportunities. And that's speaking objectively. Do I think the player will succeed? Yes. Do I think Bryce Huff will be a productive player for the Philadelphia Eagles? Yes. But that's what I think. That's what I want to happen. That's what I expect. But ultimately, I can't say for sure. And that's rational thinking. Because I am a fan of the Philadelphia Eagles. But I also am a spectator and I speak about the Philadelphia Eagles. And you guys hold me to a high standard to speak honestly and candidly and truthfully. And truthfully, I don't know what he will do. But I'm hoping for the best. And I think the best will happen. And I think it's fair to put those two thoughts together. Philly 007 says, can he play 800 plus snaps a year? And that's a very, very, very good question. And Big Chris, that's a very good point. It's a strong possibility. Vic Fangio has full control of his defense. It's been made clear. What's going on, Pretty Mimi? Down at Rome, Twiz, K. Robinson, what's good? Appreciate you guys. But Philly 007, hell of a question. Can he play 800 plus snaps a year? Because you want to know you want to know who can and who's done it? Haason Reddick. I've never questioned Haason Reddick's motor ever. Because he's routinely played 80+% of the snaps. He's routinely played over 800 snaps a season and has been productive. So all I'm trying to say is, hey, Bryce Huff, I'm rooting for you, brother. They paid you. You're a Philadelphia Eagle. I'm rocking. I'm supporting. But I don't know you yet. Based off of your journey, he has the blue collar mentality, which fits right in with the Philadelphia Eagles. He's been a grinder from the beginning, being an undrafted guy. Being an undrafted guy. Coming in to the Jets, earning his keep, earning his playtime, earning it. And finally getting the green light legitimately in 2023, and he ran with it. So again, I like players that fight for their right to live and eat and breathe. I love that. I love the energy. I love the tenacity. I love guys that have their back against the wall and they say it's kill or be killed, and I ain't leaving without my meal. And I ain't going back home without the lion's head. That's the mentality that Bryce Huff had to have all 4 years with the Jets because he was an undrafted signing in his rookie year. And every season he came in, kill or be killed, and you keep what you kill. I'm rolling with that. I'm rolling with somebody who got that in him. I'm rolling with somebody who has that mentality of survival, of the fittest. This league is made up of so many undrafted guys, 7, 6, 5th round, 4th round guys. This league is comprised of more of those guys than first round picks. So all I'm trying to say is only the strong will survive in the NFL. Only the diligent will survive. And yes, there's so much more that has to be done on this defense. The offseason is not complete. It's not. And I'm not trying to make an overarching indictment of the Philadelphia Eagles defense because they have a lot to do. They have a lot to add still. Yes, they brought in Devin White. Yes, they brought in Zach Bond. Yes, they brought in C.J. Gardner-Johnson. Yes, they brought in Bryce Huff. Yes, they've done all those things. Yes, they have. But that defense has to earn our respect in 2024. Based off of what we saw in 2023, Howie Roseman, Vic Fangio, that defense, that personnel, all those guys, they got to earn it, in my opinion. Sorry. I'm sorry if that hurts. I'm sorry if that doesn't make a lot of people feel good. But the reality is, this defense is coming off of a terrible season. Terrible. They were one of the worst defenses in the NFL. They objectively were the worst defense in a lot of categories. One of the worst defenses in a lot of categories that matter. They sucked on third down. They sucked on first down. They couldn't get off the field. They couldn't stop the run after the bye week. They couldn't stop the pass. So all I'm trying to say is this defense can't afford to lose good players when you have them in the building already. But they also need to invest heavily on the defense in this upcoming draft. I strongly believe that. I wouldn't be surprised if the first 3 picks are defensive guys. Because here's the problem with the Philadelphia Eagles defense. They have not done a good enough job cultivating core talent on this defense side of the ball. They have not. They have not drafted consistently well on defense. They have not. They haven't. The defense has more mercenaries on it, has more free agent guys on it than the offense. And look, you're going to supplement your roster with defense. You're going to supplement your roster with free agents. You're going to. But when you don't draft well on defense, you got to go through free agency. Sometimes you're going to overpay. Or sometimes you're going to have to sign someone to a 1-year prove-it deal that's maybe not that good, or maybe you're banking on them turning it around. It's so much that goes into that. But the reality is, this Eagles defense has a lot to prove, bottom line. And in my humble opinion, losing Haason Reddick hurts you a bit. Today. Just today. That's all. Not forever. Not just today. Today, losing Haason Reddick hurts the Philadelphia Eagles. Today. But we will find out who they will be going forward. So I don't want you guys to relinquish your optimism. That's not what I'm here for. I don't want you. Big Chris, very good point. Big Chris, things were so bad last year, they can only get better. Ain't that some shit? Ain't that some shit? A-Track, what's good, man? I appreciate you for locking in. Thank you so much, A-Track. But Big Chris, that's a hell of a point. We can only go up from here. That defense was abysmal. Abysmal. So again, and Big Chris, don't worry. I'm definitely going to get into the Reed Blankenship contract. I like it. I like Reed. Does he have his limitations? For sure. But I like Reed. My man Philly 007 with the $9.99 donation. The $9.99 super chat. Thank you so much, Philly 007, for locking in and always investing in the show. I do not take this for granted. He says, Tone, What's your thoughts on the Eagles extending Reed Blankenship? I don't hate it. I like it. I like it. Let's actually talk about some of the details here about that, right? Let's get into some of the details here. Let's get into the nitty gritty here. All right. Because Reed Blankenship, in my opinion, he's not a bad player. Can he stand to improve? Absolutely. But he's not a bad player. All right. So let's look at this here. So the Eagles signed Reed Blankenship to a 1-year contract extension. Now he was going into the 2024 year with only 1 year left on his deal. And he would have been a restricted free agent, right? So let's read this real quick. It says here, Reed Blankenship finished as the second highest earner in the NFL's performance-based pay program. Blankenship was awarded $923,000, which is more than he made from his $870,000 base salary. Not too long after that news emerged, the Eagles announced they officially signed Reed Blankenship to a 1-year contract extension. He's now under team control through the 2025 season. So now Reed Blankenship is going to be here for 2024 and 2025. It says here, prior to signing an extension, Blankenship was set to be a restricted free agent after 2024. It's not yet clear what Blankenship will be paid in 2025, but it's likely more than the projected restricted free agent tender, or else he could have just waited to be tendered. Listen to this. Blankenship has been a good find for the Eagles. I agree with that, since they signed him as an undrafted rookie free agent in 2022. He played his way into a starting safety job last year, logging 3 interceptions over 15 starts. It's true. You know, Reed Blankenship is a player who this is something we got to talk about as well. Reed Blankenship has battled injuries, right? Reed Blankenship battled injuries in 2023. He played 15 games, but there was moments where he was in and out of the lineup, right? So I need Reed Blankenship to find a way to stay healthy. Now, Reed Blankenship has been in the lab here. Reed has been in the lab, right? I want you guys to watch this. Reed Blankenship has been in the lab. He's working. He's working very hard. And nothing is guaranteed to Reed Blankenship. I want you guys to understand he's not getting paid any major money by NFL standards. He's not. He's not getting paid any major money by NFL standards. So don't trip. Reed Blankenship helps the Eagles. He helps the Eagles. Yeah. He got paid based off performance. We got to keep that in mind here. I mean, the Eagles extended him, but he also got a bonus because of he was a part of the player performance program. So, and also, I'll show you guys something in a bit, but Reed Blankenship is in the lab here. And he working with the brothers. So you know how that go. He working with Kevin Byard right now. That's Kevin Byard. So just look at this. So I think Reed is coming up next in this clip. Reed Blankenship is in the lab. There he is. Staying loose, staying limber. Reed Blankenship knows what's at stake here. He knows what's at stake. So the reality is, Reed has an opportunity in front of him. Of course. You know, look. I'm not going to sit here and say Reed Blankenship all of a sudden is a coverage guy. I'm lost. Twiz. Oh, he's talking to broke track. Okay. But nonetheless, A-Track. Sorry about that. But yeah, Philly 007. Thank you so much for the $9.99 super chat, my friend. I appreciate you, man. Really appreciate it. I know Byard is gone. I know. BG, you already know, my man. I appreciate you for giving me the opportunity on your platform, my man. I definitely appreciate the love. Appreciate the support. Definitely appreciate the love and the support, man. And I appreciate you giving me the opportunity. But I ultimately like Reed Blankenship. I do. I think Reed is a very, very, very good tackler. He's not a speed guy. He's not. But he's a smart player. He tackles well. He knows where to be most of the time. He just doesn't have speed. He's not a speed guy. That's the reality. He's just not a speed guy. But also, again, context. Just want to show you guys what PFF graded Reed Blankenship last season. Just want to show you guys. And I'm not saying PFF is the Bible. I'm not saying PFF is law. I'm not saying that. But I just want you guys to know what PFF graded Reed Blankenship last year. Just want to show you guys. That's all. So, and again, I'm not paying for PFF as of right now. I don't have a subscription. But I just want you guys to just see what they graded him as, right? So, Reed Blankenship in 2023, PFF gave him a 73.4 overall grade. 73.4 for Reed Blankenship. Not bad for an undrafted player. And me personally, Bo 1990, that's a good point by you. I personally want Reed Blankenship playing closer to the line of scrimmage. I want Reed Blankenship because he doesn't have the speed and he doesn't have that coverage speed. He doesn't have that closing speed. So if Reed Blankenship gets beat, he's going to get beat. That's just a fact. But I would like Reed Blankenship to play closer to the line of scrimmage. I would love to see him. I would love to see him as a box safety. I wouldn't even mind seeing him, on tight ends. I wouldn't mind, but not like the best tight ends. You know what I mean? But overall, Reed Blankenship had a 73.4 PFF grade. It's not bad. It's not bad. On a bad defense, not bad. But overall, I like the Philadelphia Eagles extending him, giving him another year on the current contract he has. It's not major money at all, you guys. So I don't want you guys to think that. And also, he's a very good special teamer as well. All right, my man, Davon Tyree with the $4.99 super chat. Thank you so much, my friend. I really appreciate you. He says, Tone, when was the last time the Eagles used the franchise tag? And how come they don't use it as much? The last time the Philadelphia Eagles used the franchise tag was on Deshaun Jackson. Deshaun Jackson. Let me make sure I get a date for you, though. The last time the Philadelphia Eagles used the franchise tag was in 2012. It says, in fact, the Eagles have not used the franchise tag since 2012, when they tagged wide receiver Deshaun Jackson at $9.5 million. Before that, the Eagles placed a $16 million franchise tag on quarterback Michael Vick in 2011. So they used it in 2012 on Deshaun Jackson when the receiver position's franchise tag was a $9.5 million. And they used it in 2011 when the quarterback franchise tag was at $16 million. So 2012 was the last time they used it. 2012. Thank you. With the franchise tag. Thank you. Thank you for the super chat, my friend. Thank you for the super chat, Davon. I really appreciate the love. I really appreciate your support and your commitment to the show. Really do. I do not take it for granted, my friend. Thank you. Fitness Warrior says, Tone, with the extension, do you think Fangio likes him, or do you think that was a Nick no job Sirianni? Y'all be killing Nick sometimes. But look, Vic Fangio has full control over this defense. Full control. Now he ain't got control over the money now, but he has an opinion. And I think Fangio is looking at he's been looking at the tape. Maybe Vic Fangio says to Howie, look, I like this kid. Right now, granted, they didn't have to extend him just to keep him on the roster. I mean, he was already under contract, but they didn't have to extend him. But maybe Fangio likes him. Maybe Fangio looks at him as a guy he can use. Maybe he looks at him as a guy he can get creative with. You never know. Marty, thank you so much, my man. I appreciate it. Rice and hamburger is pretty good, actually. Rice. I love ground turkey and rice. Ground turkey, rice, some peppers, some onions. I love that. But yeah, man, the Eagles don't use the franchise tags. And to answer your other question, the second part of your question, the reason they don't use it, because let's be honest, franchise tags are not fiscally responsible. Franchise tagging someone is not a fiscally responsible decision. It's not. Because what happens is when you franchise tag a player, you have to pay him the average salary of the top 10 players at his position. I think that's how it works, right? The franchise tag is developed based off of the average salary of the top 10 players at the position. I think that's how it works. But nonetheless, franchise tags are not fiscally responsible. So nowadays, okay, Daquan, thank you. The average of the top five. So basically, if you franchise tag a player, what you're saying is either you intend on paying him or you just need more time to figure out what you're going to do. But here's my thing, though, right? Thank you, Daquan. I appreciate it. Thank you, Daquan. The transition tag. Thank you. I appreciate that. The transition tag is based off of the top 10. The franchise tag is based off of the top 5. But the franchise tag is not fiscally responsible, in my opinion, because I mean, yes, it buys you time to maybe work out a contract. And trade 979, you're right, it's an IOU. And also it's fully guaranteed too. So I personally believe you should only be franchise tagging a guy if you plan on paying him, because you need more time to work out the deal, right? Maybe you're behind the 8 ball, whatever it is, however you got to justify it. But I firmly believe that you should only franchise tag a player if you plan on paying him. That's all. Because franchise tagging a player and then letting them walk the following year is idiotic. Uh-oh. What we got? Corey Allen, what we got? You got some breaking news for me? What we got? What's the breaking news? Talk to me, y'all. What's the breaking news? Corey says we got breaking news. But nonetheless, though, yeah. You're right. Today is April 1st. I would never. I haven't even had a country fried steak. Ew. Country fried steak. That just sounds nasty as fuck. That just sounds nasty. Yo, y'all clowns, man. I can't stand y'all. Y'all play so damn much. Oh, man. But, hey, listen, man. Listen, I'm not the only one they got, right? And thank you, Davon. I really appreciate the love. But I would never trade in a fried steak for a cheesesteak. Never. That just sounds insane. And yes, R.I.P. Devontae Davis, man. R.I.P. Devontae Davis. I can't stand y'all, man. Y'all crazy. Yo, Corey, stay cooking. Corey, stay cooking, man. He stayed cooking. But yeah, man. Overall, though, I think the Philadelphia Eagles defense still has. I think the Philadelphia Eagles still got a lot of work to do. I really believe that because you have players like Nolan Smith. Let's get into that, right? Nolan Smith. He's a player that I don't know anything about right now because every time I seen him on the field, he looked like he was getting manhandled by tackles. He couldn't beat anybody. He couldn't. Now, did he have moments where he came close? Yeah, but close isn't enough. We need you to finish. We need you to get home. And Big Chris, you raised a very good point. All these Bulldogs got to stop acting like Pomeranians. Birdman 951 was good, my guy. All these Bulldogs got to stop walking around like they Pomeranians, okay? And it's not all of them. Jalen Carter, I think Jalen Carter's going to be good. But Nakobe Dean, Jordan Davis, Nolan Smith, y'all gotta step y'all weight up this season. And I mean that, respectfully, truly. I mean that respectfully. Marty was good. Ringo as well. I almost forgot about him. Ringo too. You know, I think the Philadelphia Eagles want Ringo to become a player. That's what I think. Hey, you guys, give me 1 second while I plug up this laptop, okay? Don't want it to die on me. There we go. So, yeah. Ringo, Dean, Davis, Smith. They got to step up, man. I think Milton Williams does need more playing time. But Milton Williams, he's going to get it. He's going to get it. Because Haason Reddick is gone. Who else? Fletcher Cox is gone. Milton Williams, Nolan Smith, they're going to get the opportunities. That's the fact. They're going to get their opportunities. And I'm looking at Howie Roseman like this. Look, you brought in all these Georgia Bulldogs. They better pan out. They better pan out. So far, only one guy has my utmost confidence. Yo, what are y'all talking about? Y'all talking about lightning? What's going on? So again, this poll that I put up. Oh, it balanced out. So here we go. This is interesting here. So I asked you guys in the live chat, did the Philadelphia Eagles get worse after the Haason Reddick trade? 88 of you guys have voted. 59% of you guys say yes. 41% of you guys say no. That's interesting. That's interesting. Basically 60-40. You know, we're going to have to see how this thing pans out. Right? Because overall, the Philadelphia Eagles, they're trying to get the defense together. They're trying. But the biggest problem is they have to establish a new core on defense, right? They have to establish a new core. Dewad Davis says, to me, Milton Williams is better than Nolan at this point. Yeah, I would have to agree with that. I've seen more from Milton Williams than Nolan Smith, but Milton Williams he's giving me 3 years, you know, of good production in a rotational role. And he's good in run defense. And yeah, yes, they're different positions. Yes, obviously. They are different positions, of course. But Milton Williams was drafted in what, the 4th round, 5th round? Just saying. Danquan Barkley says Davis has to give Nolan some weight to use. Yeah, Nolan need to hit the weight room, and Davis need to stay out of the lunch line. Because I still have a hard time understanding or wrapping my mind around the fact that the Philadelphia Eagles run defense disappeared after the bye week. I'm having a hard time understanding how everybody the run defense just was non-existent after the bye week. I don't understand that. 3rd. Thank you, Brian. I appreciate it. He was a 3rd. He was a 3rd. Thank you. But Nolan, Brian Robertson, welcome to the show, my friend. He says Nolan needs to get more reps on the field. I agree. He says hard to produce when you don't play. That's a fact. Now, I will give Nolan Smith this, right? Because, I'm not saying Nolan Smith is a player that can't play. I'm saying I don't know if he can. And before we continue, guys, do me a favor. Can you guys hit that like button for me? We have 81 people on the YouTube side. I'm sorry, we have 77 people on the YouTube side. Read that wrong. And we have 41 people on the X side, on the Twitter side. If you guys could do me a favor, please smash that like button. Make sure you guys are subscribed to the show. Make sure you guys hit that notification bell as well. The notification bell helps you guys know when the content goes live. But Nolan Smith is this thing, right? I don't think they did Nolan Smith any favors last year. They did Nolan Smith no favors. Nolan Smith should have got time behind Josh Sweat and or Haason Reddick early in the season. Early. That's why Josh Sweat burnt out, because Josh Sweat wasn't being relieved properly. They wasn't giving BG snaps, and they wasn't giving Nolan Smith snaps. BG only, you know what's crazy? BG only accounted for 25% of the defensive snaps last year, and BG didn't miss a game. So here's the thing. They didn't give BG snaps last year. They didn't give Nolan Smith snaps last year. They force-fed Haason Reddick and Josh Sweat snaps. I put that on coaching. No, Nolan Smith didn't miss a game. He got hurt in the preseason, but he didn't miss a game. Nolan Smith was active for every single regular season game. Active for every single game, Brian. But again, one thing I'll give Gannon credit for, he rotated guys no matter what. I'll give Gannon credit for that. He rotated them guys on the D-line. But Sean Desai was not rotating those guys well. He was not. Same thing goes for Matt Patricia. The rotations was non-existent. Both Josh Sweat and Haason Reddick played what? Let me double check this real quick. I want to make sure I got this. I'm actually accurate here. For the first time listen to this, y'all. In 2023, Josh Sweat was on the field for 816 snaps. That's 85% of the defensive snaps. In 2022, Josh Sweat was on the field for 587 snaps. That's 61% of the snaps. Josh Sweat had his best year when he was hanging around 61% of the snaps under Jonathan Gannon. Sean Desai comes in, and all of a sudden, Josh Sweat goes up by nearly 300 snaps. You want to know another reason why the snap count went up? They couldn't get off the field. They could not get off the field. But again, they were not doing a good enough job rotating those guys. Josh Sweat, Haason Reddick, Nolan Smith, Brandon Graham. Let them go. Unleash them. Rotate them. Brandon Graham should have had about 30 to 40% of the snaps. Nolan Smith should have had about 30 to 40% of the snaps. They didn't help Haason Reddick. They didn't help Josh Sweat. They didn't. And they didn't help Nolan Smith. Corey, I got you, Corey. I ain't gonna forget. I got you, Corey. It's right there in my face. I got you. Pause. So my man Corey says, Nolan. Yo, who came up with this? Y'all can't be talking like this. This is out of order. This is out of order. Come on, man. Hey, listen, you know what's so crazy? They called them, I don't know if y'all heard this, but they started calling Diddy the diddler. They started calling him the diddler. Remember, yo, they started calling P. Diddy the diddler. I was rolling. Yo, I'm telling you, no Diddy is the new wave now. They called him the diddler. But man, Corey, I appreciate you, man, with the $1.99 super chat. I really do appreciate you, man. I really do. No, they weren't. The snap count tells you that. The snap count tells you that, Michelle. Come on now. Really? The snap count tells you they weren't getting rotated properly. You rotate those guys regardless. You rotate those guys regardless. Especially early in the season. They was not rotating those guys. Josh Sweat was playing over 80% of the snaps. They was not rotating those guys. They weren't. They weren't. Thank you, Corey, for the $1.99 super chat, my brother. I really appreciate it. But if they would have got Nolan Smith some reps early, that would have bred confidence. He would have got sharper. He would have got better. You have to go through the growing pains. As my man John McMullen always says, you got to go through the startup calls sometimes. You got to go through the startup calls. They should have got Sidney Brown in the game early. Week 1, early. They should have got Sidney Brown snaps early. I would have started Sidney Brown over Terrell Edmonds, and I would have went through the growing pains. I would have went through that. It's early in the season. Get those guys confidence. Get those guys reps. Develop and cultivate your talent, your young players. You have to. Fitness Warrior says, Tone, that's why I said earlier that the depth on our team is better, so the rotation will be smoother. Nolan Smith has to prove. Nolan Smith has to prove that the rotation is better. BG has to prove that he still has some gas left in the tank. Has to prove that. Crawdad, thank you so much, my man. I appreciate the love and support. Crawdad38 says, hey, Tone, I miss you on Sports Take, but so happy you have your own gig. Love your takes, man. Hey, Crawdad, thank you so much for supporting the show. Thank you for following me here, man. If you can, do me a favor, if you haven't already, can you subscribe to the YouTube channel? That really helps the content grow. Also, make sure you smash that like button, retweet the show, whatever works for you, my man. I appreciate the love and the support, man. Y'all gotta chill, man. This Diddy stuff is out of order. We gotta leave that alone. We gotta leave that where it's at. This ain't that kind of show. We gotta leave that where it's at. We gotta leave that where it's at. I'm sorry. I am not rolling with any of the Diddy talk. We gotta let that roll. I can't acknowledge that. That shit is trifling. I can't roll with that. Michelle, you said it. Not me. I can't. That Diddy talk is crazy right now. Yeah, exactly. Fitness, exactly. Exactly. I don't need them snatching me off YouTube, man. I don't know nothing. I don't know nothing. I don't know nothing. Get them motherfuckers off my timeline. I'm cool. I'm cool. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Yo, Philly 007, back to the Eagles, right? back to the Eagles. So yeah, overall, I do like the extension that Reed Blankenship got, but Reed Blankenship is going to have to yo, Trey 979. Trey. Trey, you listen to the Joe Budden podcast, don't you? Trey, you listen to the Joe Budden podcast, don't you? He talk about Javon Curse wasn't invited to the freak off. Yo. Y'all motherfuckers is crazy, man. Y'all crazy. Oh my God. Y'all crazy, man. But you know, Vic Fangio, I think Vic Fangio, we gotta find out what he got left, because one of my fear is that he just here for an early retirement package. My fear is that, Michelle, you drafted him in the first round. You drafted Nolan in the first round. You drafted him in the first round. You get him ready. You got to get him ready. You got to get him ready. I'm sorry, Michelle. I can't move. I'm sorry, Michelle. I truly appreciate you providing your insight. I really do. But I can't move off my take. I can't move off that. Yes, Fitness. I'm skipping all that shit. You're right, Fitness. I'm skipping all that. I'm skipping all that. See, Michelle. See, Michelle. I'm trying to show you respect. I'm trying to show you understanding and comprehension, Michelle. I'm trying to show you respect, that I understand your perspective, but I just disagree. I'm trying to what's the word I'm looking for here? I'm trying to be reasonable with you. But don't come on here being unreasonable. I got moderators that can handle that. You feel me? I'm trying to be reasonable with you. But here's the thing. We could bump. So why is he here, Michelle? BG on the pitch count. I don't have time for guys on pitch counts. I need players. What are we talking about? What are we talking about? Pitch counts? We need players. Stop it. We need players. Wake up. No, listen. How about this? Fuck last year, right? Let's get into it. Fuck last year. Fair enough? Let's move on. Let's move on from last year. Let's just say, let's move on from last year. Bunk that, right? This year, Nolan Smith better be ready. How about that? Nolan Smith better be ready. BG better give us something. He better give us something. I ain't talking about 20% of the snaps. When you got Josh Sweat playing 80% of the snaps, and clearly, that's not in his skill set. That's clearly not what he got in the tank, right? So Nolan Smith, he better be ready. BG, he better give us more than 35% of the snaps. He better. He better. Hey, fuck no, Vlad. I like this. I like this. You know, I like the Renaissance, you know what I mean, poetic scraggliness. That's my vibe. Roll with it or get lost. Like, come on. Like, come on. We talking about pitch counts. We talking about players not being ready. Are we trying to win a Super Bowl or not? You put that young man on the field and you figure it out. You figure it out. You get that young man on the field and get him confident. Bo 1990 says, nah, Sweat is a young man. He should be able to handle it. If that's the case, we should have paid Reddick and let Sweat go. Here's the thing. Sweat situation is, remember, he had that catastrophic knee injury. So Sweat has literally been slowly but surely increasing his role. But I agree with you guys, right? Sweat, listen, bro. Like, step your weight up. I'm sorry. We talk about winning a Super Bowl. The Eagles not some run-of-the-mill franchise or organization. Are we smoking dope? Nolan Smith, listen, like I said, forget about last year, right? Let's just focus on the now. Nolan Smith, he better be ready. BG, I don't want to hear nothing about no pitch counts. It's the last hurrah. I need everything. I need everything from you. I don't want to hear about pitch counts when you're trying to win the Super Bowl. I don't want to hear nothing about that. This your last year, BG? Okay, they brought you back. They gave you the money. Give me everything you got. My man Corey Allen with the hey, listen, Corey, you can say that as long as you want, as long as you keep paying for it. Shout out to my man Corey Allen, man. Look, you can say that as much as you want, as long as you keep paying for it, Corey. You my man. And I'm gonna keep putting it on the screen. Shout out to my man Corey with the $1.99 super chat play. I really appreciate you. I really do appreciate you. Thank you. Thank you. Josh H says Reddick was a cancer in the locker room. Howie excised the cancer. We don't know that for we don't know that for fact. Neither, I don't know, man. People are weird these days. But Josh H, we can't say that for fact. We can't say that for fact. We just can't. But like I said, are we trying to win the Super Bowl or not? Are we trying? No, Josh H. I'm about to explain to you why the Eagles got what they got for that trade. I'm glad you brought that up, and I'm gonna go to that super chat. Corey, I ain't skipping super chat, man. Stop playing. But just to make sure that you know I love you, $1.99, baby. Appreciate you. Thank you. Thank you, Corey. I really appreciate it, man. Thank you. You funny as hell, man. Go do some push-ups or something, bro. I'm talking about cakes. But yeah, Josh H, we can't say that for fact. So that's that one. I appreciate you, by the way, for the $5 super chat. Thank you. I really do appreciate it. He also says the trade value proves it. No, let me tell you what the trade value proves. Let me tell you what the trade value proves. The trade value proves that the Eagles didn't have as much leverage as people thought. There are so many variables that go into a trade, right? Let me explain to you the variables that went into this trade. The first variable, Haason Reddick will be 30 when the season starts, and he'll be 31 when his current contract ends. Well, Let me rephrase that. Haason Reddick will be 30 when the 2024 season starts, and he'll be 31 when the 2025 season starts, which is when his new contract that he will sign will take effect. That's the first domino. That's the first piece of leverage the Eagles have lost. Haason Reddick's age. The second piece of leverage. The Eagles needed to find a trade partner that will be willing to not only trade for him and give up assets, but also pay him. So that's the second variable, right? So the first is the age. The second is the extension that the new team will have to pay him. And then the third variable is his 2024 cap hit. Haason Reddick has a cap hit of $21.2 million, the highest that was on the Eagles. So those three variables strongly influence the Philadelphia Eagles' ability to get a strong return on their investment for Haason Reddick. The cap hit, the extension, and the age. My man Anton Baroda says, would you take edge over corner in the first round? I'm unsure, man. I'll be honest. I'm unsure right now. I'm really unsure. I wake up some mornings and I say take the corner in the first. I'll wake up other mornings where I say, hey, grab the edge rusher. I'll wake up other mornings and I say, hey, get the linebacker. So I'm torn. But I'll tell you this, they need players on defense, regardless of what position they drafted from. They need players on defense. They need legitimate players on defense. That's a fact. That's a fact. Thank you, Anton Baroda, for your $2.99 donation, my friend. I really appreciate it. Really appreciate it. Corey, I'm 29, but I appreciate you. I'm 29, but I appreciate you. He said, Mama said, never trust a 24-year-old with a bald head. I'm 29, but I appreciate it. I appreciate it, man. Solomon Lord said, Corey on his BS again. Y'all know how Corey give it up, man. It's my guy. Kyle Kokorski says, I'm done paying players past 30 and past their prime on defense. Josh H., my brother, he says, Josh H. with the $10 super chat. He says, I get the business aspect of the sport. I'm not against Reddick. No, I'm not saying you are. I never said any of those things. He says, I get that business aspect of the sport. I'm not against Reddick. I wish him the best. He didn't meet the value he wanted. I'm sure locker room team discipline played a part. I don't know. But I'll say this, though. Regardless of what's going on in the locker room, the production and the business will always take precedent. It's all about precedence. It's all about priority. Regardless of what you're talking about as far as team, this Haason Reddick is not why that team collapsed. There's no one reason. There's no singular reason why that defense collapsed. But the reality is the business takes precedence over anything you're saying. And I'm not implying you're against Reddick at all. I'm simply responding to the specific things you're saying. I don't think you're against Reddick. So don't assume that I assume that. But I appreciate you donating to the channel, Josh H. I really do. But what needs to be understood is regardless of what's going on in that locker room, regardless of that, two things take precedence over that. The business and the production. Period. Point blank. The business and the production. Big Chris, are you serious? Mm, 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 mm. Mm-mm. Thank you so much, Josh. I really appreciate you for donating to the channel. Really do. That I think I can agree with, right? I think with and thank you, Josh, again for donating to the channel, man. I really do appreciate it. I don't take that for granted, my friend. Also, make sure you guys smash that like button, man. We have 76 people in the live stream from YouTube, 45 from Twitter. Make sure you guys smash that like button, man. I really do appreciate it. Please do me a favor and hit that like button. Like button really helps the content grow. The like button supercharges the live stream, and it really helps new people find the show. It helps YouTube push the show as well. Thank you so much, Josh. I really do appreciate you for donating to the channel, my man. Again, make sure y'all smash that like button. Make sure you guys are subscribed to the show. I really appreciate it. Josh says, just to note, I'd love Reddick. I wish him the best, but he wasn't a fit. Yeah, I wanted Reddick here too, right? And I definitely wish him the best. I want the player to always get what he believes he's owed. I'm for players getting as much money as they can. I believe in that. The league is not going to love you when you retire, or they like these teams off players left and right. We see it all the time. Teams try to listen. If these organizations could get away paying these players $1, they would do that. If these owners of these organizations could get away paying these players less than $1 million a season, they would do that. If the NFL owners could get away paying these players a universal income, whereas though all players get paid the same, they would do that. These owners don't give a damn. These owners care about their bottom line. So I want Reddick to get his money. I want him to get his money. I really do. S. Blunt, that's a reasonable question. That's a very, very reasonable question. Shout out to my man Josh H again for donating to the channel, man. I really do appreciate it. He's been donating a lot of money, and I really appreciate him for investing in me and investing in the platform. S. Blunt has a retort though. He says, "Why is Reddick not a fit, but Huff is a fit?" It's a good question. It's a very good question. It's a very good question. I don't think I have an answer for that right now, and I'm, and I know that's me. That's just me. Keep it at 100. Donald Rome says age. Donald Rome says age. Flat out. Flat out. He said age. That's why he's not a fit. Let's see. Demond Miller says he's not a defensive end. Interesting. Yeah, it's funny, right? The NFL is funny with these positions, right? You got edge rushers, but then you got defensive end, like more, which are guy like BG is a defensive end, right? BG is a defensive end, but those edge rushers are like those stand-up guys, right? Those linebackers that rush the passer. Those are like edge rushers. You feel what I'm saying? Like, so yeah, the NFL is very, very the NFL is very strange about these positions and how they define them. It's very frustrating because there's no real consistency with how these teams and how the league defines the position. But as the league evolves, as the sport evolves, these defenses got to get more creative, and they're going to get more creative with the positions and where they put guys on the field and all that kind of stuff. So it's really hard to pinpoint how they define some of these guys, if I'm being honest, because On paper, Haason Reddick is a linebacker, but I think we all know Haason Reddick should not be dropping back in coverage at all. He should be rushing the passer. My man Terry Hayes, my man working the night shift, he says, and he's donated $5 with his $5 super chat. Thank you, Terry. I really appreciate you, my man. He says they want Huff to replace Reddick, but the difference is Reddick is proven, and Huff isn't. Huff is on a prove it deal. Nah, you pay a man 3 years, $51 million. That ain't no prove it deal, Terry. I wish somebody would pay me $17 million a season just to prove it. I wish somebody would pay me $17 million a year just to prove it. Thank you. Terry, I wouldn't call $51 million. As a matter of fact, I wouldn't call $34 million guaranteed prove it money. Would you? I would not call $34 million prove it money. K. Robinson, you kind of just answered your own question. And Terry, thank you so much for your $5 donation. Chad, no, I feel you, Chad. Look, man, regardless, here's the thing, regardless, right? And again, thank you, Terry, for your donation. You know, here's the bottom line about the Haason Reddick thing, right? Here's the bottom line. He had a number in mind that he wanted to get paid. The Eagles did not want to pay that. I don't think the Haason Reddick situation is more complicated than what it. I think we're overcomplicating the Haason Reddick situation. I think we're overcomplicating it. I really do. I really believe we're overcomplicating this thing. Haason Reddick wanted to get paid one amount. The Eagles wanted to pay him a different amount. They could not meet in the middle. Therefore, he got traded. I think it's that simple. I think this situation is that simple. Bob Brown, I don't think it's that simple. Oh, I'm sorry. I don't think it's look, we ultimately don't know. We're all assuming. You're assuming, I'm assuming, we all have our own thought as to why this thing went down the way it did. But the bottom line is this part, right? Here's the bottom line. Haason Reddick wanted one amount, and we knew this last year in the offseason. Haason Reddick made it clear that he was underpaid. He said that. He made it clear he was underpaid. Still came in and played because he still had guaranteed money left, so he played, obviously. But the guaranteed money's gone. S. Blunt, thank you. That's what I'm waiting to see because that's going to tell us everything. That's going to tell us everything. I want to see what the Jets pay him. I want to see what the Jets pay him. My man Josh H., he says, off topic, people are lauding the Chiefs signing LRZ. Yet we have had Devin Allen on the roster for when kickoff rules change. LRZ. Who's LRZ? Why am I blanking on that name? Who is that? I'm blanking. Somebody help me out. Who's LRZ? I'm blanking on that. Huh. But, you know, Devin Allen, I have no idea what he is. You know, he's just a guy. Oh, the rugby guy. Yeah, that new guy that they sound. Oh, yeah, yeah. I mean, I mean, they're taking a shot, you know. They're taking a shot. Listen, they're taking a shot. The Eagles took a shot on a rugby guy. It panned out. So, you know, they're taking a shot. It is what it is. But thank you so much for the $5 super chat, Josh. I really do. Really do. But where was I? Yeah. Haason Reddick, he wanted what he wanted. That's all. But all it does is put the pressure on Howie Roseman to make this defense look like something. And Big Chris, technically they're paying him 21 because it's a $21 million cap hit. That's just the base salary. You know, technically based off of the cap hit, they're paying him 21 million based off the cap hit. But I get what you mean though. The cap hit is 21 million. I don't know what his asking price was exactly, Chris, but if I had to guess, he wanted, if I had to guess, I think he wanted north of $23 million. That's what I think. Well, actually, Vlad, he's from Camden. He's from Camden. He played at Temple, but he's from Camden, New Jersey, which is right across the bridge. He's not from the 215. He's from Camden, New Jersey. Just saying. Not trying to split hairs here, but he's not from the 215. He's from Camden. He went to college in the 215. Big Chris said Camden is baby Compton. No, Camden is crazy. I don't go over there. I'll tell you that right now. Listen, I'm from North Philly. I don't go over Camden because I don't know them over there. Nah, Vlad, that's not Philly at all. It's not Philly, not one bit. Trust me, that's not Philly at all. That's not Philly, not one bit. Trenton is vicious. I don't want no smoke with Trenton. Trenton got girls that'll line you up. Better watch out for Trenton. Sunless season. Thank you for locking in on the show, my man. He says, he says, Tone, the issue I have with losing Reddick is what we got for him. In 2026, we will probably not have Sweat, Lane, AJ Dallas, Slay, and Jalen. And Jalen will be more expensive, and we need to re-up Milton and Devontae. Well, we'll see. But here's the thing, right? I think a lot of people have a problem with the conversation. I think a lot of people have a problem with the conversation, right? And I understand why. I understand why. You know, I understand why. You only got one pick. You only got one pick back for him, and on top of that, it's a third rounder that could turn to a second in 2026. That's 2 years later. You know, we're not going to see the return on that trade for another 2 seasons. And as of right now, I don't really trust Howie Roseman. I don't really trust Howie Roseman the utmost with draft picks. Sorry, I don't. So, I understand. I understand. Eagles fan, what's going on? I definitely understand the frustration with the compensation. Because can we really trust Howie Roseman with a draft pick? Good point, S. Blunt. Good point. Good point. Good point. 2 years, but 2 seasons. I mean 3 seasons. I got you. Well, no. It's it's 2 seasons because the 2024 season, the 2025 season, the 2026 draft is before the season. But I guess what you mean is we're not going to really know what that player is for another 3 seasons. So I get what you mean. Okay. If that's what you mean, I get it. I get it. But here's the thing, Sunless season, right? Yep, 2 seasons, 3 drafts. But I think what S Blunt is trying to say is we're not going to know what that player is for 3 seasons until 3 seasons. I think that's what he's trying to say. Right. So I got you correct. I got you correct. We're not going to know exactly what that player is for another 3 seasons. So, look, here's the thing about the draft pick, right? Interesting. My man PFT says, as it stands right now, without Fletch and Reddick, our defense is still better than what we had last year. So here's the thing, right? Here's why I say, or here's my context for saying they got a little worse, right? Between Thursday and today, I think the Eagles defense took a step back because they lost Reddick, right? I already accounted for losing Fletch. Based off of the Eagles roster on Thursday, in comparison to today, after losing Reddick, I think the defense has gotten a little worse because you lost production. You lost a player. You haven't replaced it yet. You feel what I'm saying? That's my justification, right? On Thursday, Reddick was on the roster. On Friday, he wasn't. So Thursday, in comparison to Friday, the roster got a bit worse because Howie still hasn't replaced that player with somebody that we can say, oh, I get it. And also, we got to find out what Bryce Huff is. Still don't know what that player is yet. So that's why I feel like they got the defense took a step back. But we have to, but again, only today. There's so much that has yet to be determined. So I don't want you guys to think that I'm down on the Eagles right now. I'm not. I'm optimistic. But I have to acknowledge the changes as they happen. And I think they have so much left to prove still. I would be remiss if I pretended like this team was signed, sealed, delivered, and all the questions were answered. For sure. Huff was definitely the replacement. The contract tells you that. The age tells you that. The position, the trade, like it all tells you that. But I'm willing to argue Nolan Smith was drafted to replace Haason Reddick. Think about their build, the way. I think Nolan Smith was drafted to replace Haason Reddick. Kate Robinson says, I never thought we were going into the season with Haason Reddick. Yeah, I didn't either. Damon Miller says, if a pass rusher gets hurt, who's going to replace those snaps? BG? Good point. Good point. You're right, Damon. We need more depth. We need more depth there. We need more bodies there to find out exactly what it is. Because if they only giving BG 20% of the snaps, here's another thing too, right, that we got to take into account. The Eagles traded away not only their most productive player on defense, they traded away their most reliable player on defense. You feel what I'm saying? Not only did they trade away their most productive, they traded away their most reliable player on defense. One thing you can guarantee, Haason Reddick, PFT, they got to prove it though. I hear you, but they got to prove it. They got to prove that though. I'm not even going to cap, man. They got to prove it. We got about 14 minutes left in the show. Really appreciate you guys for locking in on the content. Make sure you guys please smash that like button. We got 80 people in the live chat from YouTube, 53 from the X side. Make sure you guys smash that like button. Make sure you guys retweet the show. Make sure you guys are subscribed to the channel. I really appreciate the love and support. Really do. Really do. So, this week, S Blunt, thanks for asking that question. This week, we're going to be, so I meant to start at 9 p.m. Eastern time, but I had to start at, no, wait, let me get my timeline right. My plan was to start at 8 p.m. Eastern time. My plan, Anton Baroda, I'm about to answer. I'm actually about to I'm about to debunk that point, by the way. But the plan is to start at 8 p.m. Eastern time. And look, you guys, I have other obligations. This isn't my only job. So my time is floating. I'm sorry about that. I'm sorry that I can't give you guys a exact time every single day, but just know Monday, just keep this in mind, right? 8 p.m. Eastern time. 8 p.m. Eastern time, you guys. And also hit that notification bell. It's going to let you guys know when I go live, even if my time changes. Make sure you guys hit that notification bell. Please. But here's what I mean by reliable, Anton Baroda. Here's what I mean by reliable. Never missed a game. See, reliability and production, two different conversations, right? When I say reliability, I'm talking about being available. When I talk about reliability, I'm talking about availability. So when I'm talking about Haason Reddick and them trading away their most reliable player, he was guaranteed. He gave you 17 games, back-to-back seasons, his entire time in Philadelphia. Didn't miss a game. Didn't miss a game his entire time in Philadelphia. On top of that, in Philadelphia, as a Philadelphia Eagle, what did he do? He gave you back-to-back seasons. And look, I'm seeing different numbers in different places, but basically, back-to-back seasons, he gave you over 800 defensive snaps. Back-to-back. Back-to-back. But Nolan Smith, can that shoulder hold up? Can that be relied on? Josh Sweat, can his health be relied on? That's another conversation, Anton. That's another conversation. I understand what you're saying, but we're having two different conversations here. We're having two different conversations. My man Twiz with the $5 super. Thank you so much, Twiz. I really appreciate you, my man. I appreciate the love, appreciate the donation, appreciate your super chat, man. It means a lot to me. We got about 10 more minutes left in the show, you guys. Thank you guys so much for locking in. Again, make sure you guys smash that like button. Make sure you guys are subscribed to the show. All my Twitter people, make sure you guys hit the retweet button, hit the like button. You guys know what to do. I really appreciate the love and support you guys always provide. Philly 007 says he won us a playoff game. Absolutely. Absolutely. I think it's funny how people just dismiss a guy like that. I think it's strange how people just dismiss a guy so quickly. It's strange to me, Philly 007. The Eagles don't get to the Super Bowl without that play. That's what I think. That's what I think. I think the Eagles don't get to the Super Bowl unless Reddick wrecks that game. Josh H with another donation. Thank you, Josh. I really appreciate the way you've been donating to the channel. It doesn't go without saying, my man. I love you for it, and I appreciate you for it. Thank you. Josh H says, "How do you feel about the white ghost being extended the same the same day we find out he received the second most pay in performance bonuses?" You know, well, for one, I don't mind. I don't mind Reed Blankenship getting paid. And again, it's not like he got paid big money. You know, they extended him 1 year. They extended him 1 year. No, I agree. We got to get younger. Listen, you guys. I need you guys to follow me here. Did I want Haason Reddick to get traded? No. Do I understand why they did trade him? Yes. Yes. Again, did I want him to get traded? No. He's a productive player. But do I understand why they traded him? Absolutely. I understand it. That defense needed to get younger. And Fitness Warrior, good point. The cat pit was diabolical. It was sicko behavior. So, look, like I said, I would have loved for the Eagles to figure something out with Haason, but they couldn't. So they traded him. I understand every reason why they traded him. Yo, Keon, I was one of the lone wolves that was like, look, man, BG can't come back, man, just because we like him. But yeah, Josh H. I'm glad. I don't mind Reed Blankenship getting a 1 year extension. Again, it's only 1 year. He's locked up for the 2024 and the 2025 year. He provides safety depth as well. Maybe he gets better this year. You never know. We'll find out. But I'm not mad about it. Thank you for donating to the channel, my man. Jamar Marshall, thank you so much, my man, for donating $10 to the YouTube channel. It means a lot. Thank you, my man. I really do appreciate it. He says, we appreciate your platform and takes, Tone. I'm optimistic with all these skilled players, but I know I know we'll find our way back to the big game. Flag was fly. Agreed. You know, as much as we break this down, and as much as we, talk about the ups, the downs, the things we agree with, the things we don't agree with, all those, as much as we try to nitpick everything, I am very optimistic about this season. I am. I'm very optimistic about how this thing turns out. Do I have my questions and my concerns? Absolutely. I'm human. What do you expect? But overall, I think the Eagles are trying to trend in the right direction. I think they're trying to weave their way around the tough decisions. And I respect risk takers in this league. I respect risk takers. Howie Roseman is taking two major risks here so far. He's betting on Bryce Huff's continued ascension as an edge rusher. He's banking on that pick that he got from the Jets, right? Howie took some risk. Trading Haason Reddick is a risk because we don't know what that 2026 pick is going to turn into. We don't know. Third round, second round, what player will it be? We don't know. We don't know. But at the end of the day, Vlad, that's funny. But at the end of the day, man, I respect risk takers. Howie's taking some risk, man, and I'm not mad at it. I'm not mad at it, not one bit. Jamal Marshall, once again, thank you so much for donating to the channel. I appreciate your support, and I'm glad that you're here. Like I said, tomorrow, you guys, we're going to be live at 8 p.m. Eastern time. Tomorrow we will be live at 8 p.m. Eastern time. Fitness Warrior says, Tone, so since we extended Ghost, do you think we won't get any more safeties in free agency? That's a good question. Remember this, you guys. Remember this. This free agency is started. Free agency hasn't ended. Free agency hasn't ended. So remember, Howie Roseman is known for making a move a week or two prior to the season or during the training camp or even during the preseason. Like, this is not over, you guys. This is not over. I wouldn't be surprised if Howie Roseman signs a safety free agency, but also keep in mind, Sidney Brown is going to be back. So CJGJ, Sidney Brown, you know what I want to see? Honestly, you know what I want to see? I want to see a Sidney Brown, CJ Gardner-Johnson safety backfield. I want to see what that looks like. They're both edgy players. They bring tenacity and confidence to the position. I want to see what CJGJ and Sidney Gardner-Johnson look like playing next to each other. That's if Sidney Brown and CJGJ pan out, if Sidney Brown can turn into a player with that physicality, like think about that. Think about that. I think he'll be okay though, Trey. I think he'll be okay. It's not like he played a position like corner or receiver or running back. I think he'll be okay. He's a young guy. I think he'll heal up just fine. I think he'll be back before December, if I'm being honest. I think he'll be back before December. I think at the latest, he's back by October. But again, if CJGJ with Sidney Brown developing, that will be interesting to see. I'm curious about that combo. That's so much speed, so much athleticism, so much aggression and tenacity, and just vengeance at the position. I want to see that. And I think that would be exciting. But look, you guys, we are approaching the end of the live stream. And I am so grateful for you guys for committing yourselves to me. I understand my schedule's kind of been out of whack. But this week, I'll be live during the evening. On Thursday, not entirely sure yet. Not entirely sure. But again, you guys, just keep in mind that, I have I have other responsibilities. So today, tomorrow, and Wednesday, we'll be live at 8 p.m. Eastern time. That's 7 p.m. Central time, 6 p.m. Mountain time, 5 p.m. Pacific time. And Hawaii time, what is that? 4 p.m. or 3 p.m.? So, again, I appreciate you guys for locking in to the show. You guys have been amazing. If you guys could do me a favor, please Smash that like button. Make sure you guys subscribe to the channel. All my Twitter people, if you can, really quickly, if everybody on the Twitter side, we got 57 people on the Twitter side, on the X side. If you guys could do me a quick favor, can you guys migrate to the YouTube side and hit that like button for me? Can we go on a like rampage, you guys? We got 72 people in the live stream on YouTube, 129 total. Can we go on a like spree if you haven't already, you guys? Can you please smash that like button? It really means a lot to me. Real quick, do some quick shout outs to everyone who donated to the channel today. Jamal Marshall donating to the channel. Appreciate you, my man. Josh H donated several times today. I really appreciate you, Josh H, for investing in the channel, investing in me. Means a lot, my friend. It really does. My man Anton Baroda donated on the channel as well. Donated multiple times. Thank you, Anton, for donating to the channel. Really appreciate you, my man. Shout out to Twiz for donating to the channel. Really appreciate you, my guy. Terry Hayes, the Night Owl. Be safe at work, my man. You already know how I give it up. Be safe at work. I know you're working the late shift. Be safe getting home from work. Be safe at work, my man. I appreciate you for taking the time out to watch the show while you're working and donating to the channel, my man. I really appreciate you. Shout out to my man Corey. My man Corey, man. Corey, crazy ass. Shout out to my man Corey for donating twice to the channel as well. I really appreciate it, man. Thank you so much, Corey. I do not take your support. I do not take your jokes for granted, Corey. Thank you. I love you for it, my man. I really do. Shout out to my man Davon Tyree for donating to the channel as well. Thank you, Davon. Thank you, my guy. Thank you. Also, shout out to Philly 007, last but not least, for donating to the channel. It means a lot. You guys were awesome. Make sure you guys please smash that like button before you get out of here. It helps YouTube push the content. And you guys have been really, really tremendous. Make sure you guys are subscribed to the channel. Again, if this was your first time, hey, Philly 007, that like button is quite literally like fuel. You know what I'm saying? We all need gas in the gas tank. You know what I'm saying? We all need, listen, hey, my man, I'm gonna keep reaching for them likes. You know how I give it up, Philly 007. But thank you, my man. But what I need more than anything, Philly 007, and is y'all constant support. You guys support me every day, and I don't take that for granted. I really don't. So thank y'all so much. My Twitter people, my Twitter family, thank y'all. Appreciate y'all as well. All right. So there you have it. I'm your guy. And once again, tomorrow we'll be live 8 p.m. Eastern time. 8 p.m. Eastern time, right? 8 p.m. Eastern, 7 p.m. Central, 6 p.m. Mountain time, 5 p.m. Pacific time. You guys are great. I love you guys so much. I'm your guy, Tone DeShields II. And you guys were locked in on your dose of Chalk It Up Sports, where no matter if we win or if we lose, we just got to charge it to the game.